Hey guys, welcome back. I'm trying to get myself back out into the garden, get a lot of projects done over the next few months before we get our first frost in about, 70, 80 days, something like that. Beginning of November, end of October. There's so much to do. I've been so neglectful of the garden, but today and over the next few days, we're going to work on a lot of projects in this one very particular area. For this part of the garden tour, we're going to focus on this little alcove area. It's right beside my driveway. There is a raised bed area farther up. We're just going to focus right here. This area has been neglected all summer because my husband's car is normally parked here. He had total ankle replacement surgery and his car has sat here almost the entire summer. He can now drive, so I can now access this area. It's been tricky trying to climb back here through. It's just been a little out of sight, out of mind. Thankfully we had a ton of rain this summer, and then I had the yellow jacket incident, so this area is normally very, very much covered. There's one right there, pollinators. But yeah, this area has totally been neglected. It's really sad. Looks like I got a serrano pepper plant back there, doing well on its own. So I think I'm going to focus on this area. And I did start, I think one day last week, my husband drove his car. He went to physical therapy by himself for the first time. So I was able to start cleaning up. And what I'm doing is filling up this container with some of the weeds and leaves and old debris from plants. So that I can just kind of compost it there in the container after I fill it with some good soil later. You can see there's just a lot of problems, a lot of weeds, overgrown thyme, a lot of neglected plants. I do need to get back there and get those peppers for sure. And there are a few peppers over here. I've already harvested these, I'd say twice this summer. I think they're called chocolate beauty peppers. And so the tomatoes that were in this container are gone. I did put some squash seeds down probably about 10 to 14 days ago. And it looks like I do successfully have one squash plant, 1.5. That one has been eaten on quite a bit, the little seedling. He probably won't make it, but we shall see. And my hibiscus. That flower will probably open up tomorrow. But here's a picture of what it looks like when it's blooming. Okay, different angle, viewpoint. I started with the crabgrass. As you can see, it's infiltrated. Even my cardboard method that I put down late winter, early winter. It was during the winter. It was cold one day, but I came out here. I worked on this area. It looked really good. Now it looks horrible again. So much crabgrass, but the biggest, fattest carpenter bee I've ever seen came up as I was weeding. I think it was a girl, not happy. So I had to take a little bit of a break. Arborvitae is dead. Not sure. That's my sense of humor, guys. That's about as good as it gets. It's obviously, I know you can see it's dead. I need to dig this up and replace it because my HOA wanted 3 in a triangle shape right there to hide my raised bed area. So I got to get another one. Maybe I can get one on clearance. Maybe. I doubt it. But as soon as possible, I need to replace that. The cayenne pepper's doing great right here. I have harvested from this a few times. Now, why did the arborvitae die? My theory is because I left the cypress mulch here for the last 4 months, just sitting here waiting for me to get time to work on something, and it killed off my arborvitae. That's one theory. Could just be random, but it also killed the thyme underneath. So it is possible. I need to move it. I need to get some time to complete all of my weeding jobs. Yeah, it's a little overwhelming this summer, but I'm going to stay focused here. I've got to get this done. It is just unbearable. Alright guys, it's the next day. The pollinators, they did run me off yesterday evening. I'm going to water everyone really, really well, and we need to fertilize. You can see the flower that was a bud yesterday has opened. This is a hardy hibiscus. I do not know the name, but this one actually has beautiful dark foliage, as you can see. So I'm going to get everyone watered. The peppers need to get fed. It's been a long, long time since they've been fed. We're going to harvest anything that is ripe and ready. You can see plenty of weeds surrounding that sweet alyssum. There used to be a dill plant in that container, but I think it's probably dead. But look at these gorgeous, gorgeous zinnias. I had one packet of these zinnias. I planted every single one over the last 3 to 4 years, and every time I planted, I would get these ugly flat zinnias. And then finally, with this one seed, this one plant, I started to get more fluffy, ball-shaped zinnias. I'll put a picture right here of some that I cut a couple weeks ago. They were so pretty, prettier than these. They were greener than these two. These are looking more like a light yellow. They're still pretty though. Oh, I see some peppers back there. We need to go get those peppers. So I think while I'm watering, I'm going to take the time to work on the crabgrass. You can see it is pretty intense, and it likes to crawl around and put down roots everywhere. See those roots? Very nasty weed, very invasive. I'm also going to remove the milkweed in this area. I love milkweed for my monarchs, but that is not a good spot because it will get, probably next year, that plant will get about 4 to 6 feet tall. It'll flower. It'll have all kinds of pollinators on it. It will also have these milkweed bugs and nymphs. And it's just not a good spot. I need to be able to get over there to my containers. And the milkweed will definitely be in the way. I can try to replant the root. But I do have plenty of milkweed for the monarchs. So these can go. This morning, we are starting to get upcoming weather from Hurricane Erin. So everything's real calm right now, quiet, humidity's low. It feels great out here. No sunshine. But look, I just moved this. And I found, this is a Dekay's brown snake. They do not get big. They're very tiny. They like to eat slugs. So they are great for the garden. I'm going to relocate him though, because I don't want to step on him, because it feels great out here. I'm really going to work. I'm going to get a lot done. I'm going to put some more squash seeds down in here. And fingers crossed, the squash barn borers are gone, I hope, and they will leave everything alone as far as squash and cucumbers and melons. That's just wishful thinking, but we'll see. You can see the flower from yesterday. Usually with hibiscus flowers, they only last one day. This one is done, but look how incredibly stunning and gorgeous. And I know you're asking, okay, Heather, if you love this plant, if you love hardy hibiscus so much, why are they in containers? Especially this one, not living its best life. I just pulled out a huge burn plant weed. There's some plantain down in there. I'm going to weed each container. I'm going to give them a little fertilizer. I'm going to give them some mulch on top because we want to move. And I want these when I move because I love them. These are like high value plants to me. Like, they are expensive. All of mine though, over the years, I usually 90% of the time get them on clearance. I don't want to leave these two behind. So they've been in these containers for probably, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 years. Now, if I was to move these containers right now, I would disturb the roots. The roots have grown through the bottom of the holes in the containers. But they're happy-ish. This one, because it had so many weeds competing, the summer did not do so well, as you can see. I'm going to weed it really well, give it some fertilizer, give it that mulch. And, you know, we're going to get a lot of rain here in the next couple days, but I'm going to go ahead and maybe water them again. They got a lot of good rain yesterday too from me, but they have been neglected this summer. So I want to give them a nice send off into fall. Because look, they're so happy. These flowers, I think, are because I watered it yesterday, and the plant is like, thank you, Heather, so much. But before I get up in there and weed and do all those other things, I think I've created a little bit of a habitat here that's about 2 feet tall. There are a bunch of hardy hibiscus sticks from last season that I just left here. And so there could be a habitat for something I may not want to step on. Especially, you know, we got snakes, but we also, you know, some are nice and friendly like our Dekay brown. But some are not as friendly. And there could be some copperheads. You know, we got copperheads, we got water moccasins. There's a lot of other snakes that are not venomous that we have as well. And I just don't want to step into snake den, right? So I'm going to have to go find some kind of tool that I can gently lift all of those buried under the thyme sticks. I see I've got an owl back there too. One of those decoy owls I need to get up to. Yeah, I'm not going to be sticking my bare hands in there today. This is proving a little tricky just using this tiny rake. So I think I'm going to have to try to lift with my little hook there to get some of the heavy items out. Whoops. Yep. You can see how the thyme is taking over the entire walkway. This is a very aggressive thyme, and I always say I'm going to quit growing thyme because it takes over everything. I do think what I might do is repurpose it and put it on the back side where the border is back there, because there are some weeds, and I'd rather have thyme than have to go back there on my neighbor's side and have to ask, hey, can I come pull my weeds? I think it'd be better if I just had a permanent mulch, living mulch like the thyme, so I don't have to worry about the weeds. I have some very aggressive weeds in this area, like nutsedge, which is a pain in the butt, and when you pull it, it just keeps multiplying. Good thing I used the hook and not my hand, because we've got another Dekay brown snake that was hiding in that little den area over there inside of this planter. So I need to relocate him. Maybe I'll put him over there with the other guy for now. Yeah, there could be a lot of snakes in there. So I'm moving things to relocate the snakes. I found 2 or 3 more. They've kind of disappeared though into the thyme. One of them we were able to relocate. Now I've got this native weed growing here. It's native to the eastern side of the U.S. It is Daisy Fleabane, and it is an annual. So if I wanted to keep it in production, hopefully I would let it all go to seed. Actually, it does look like some of it went to seed. Yeah. In this pot. This tiny little pot has several plants. So what I'm thinking about doing, because it could be useful to some pollinators and so forth, I may clean up the pot of other weeds. I see some kind of grass growing in there. Got so many weeds. Clean up the pot and then just go dig a hole, maybe back here in the area that I don't want to have to deal with. And maybe this guy can just keep itself in reproduction year after year. And it is kind of pretty. I think it's in like the aster family. Now my native asters and my cultivated asters will be blooming later, let's say late September into October-ish. But this is like a summer blooming aster type daisy weed. So I'm going to keep it. It's kind of pretty, and it planted itself in that pot. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. I just got to find a place to go dig a hole and stick it down in there. There is actually a pollinator flying around the daisy Fleabane right now. I think he's looking for a flower, or maybe just a place to rest. All of a sudden there was like a lot of sweat bees coming over here, and a few other pollinators here and there. I thought, well, why don't I take a break from weeding and put a couple more squash seeds in this container. I'm not sure if that little guy in the back will make it. So I'm thinking I'll do the yellow straight neck and this patty pan squash. This guy here, I can't remember what it is, but I think it's a circular green zucchini. So I'm going to get those down, and then hopefully I can get back to working on this space and trying to weed some of the crabgrass. So Tonto has come out to slow me down a little bit. I will be chasing that ball up and down this driveway probably. But I am making progress, slightly. Tonto, that's not where we play ball. Here, let Mom get it. Let Mom get it. Let Mom get it. You are awful cute, Tonto, right? You're a cute boy. Here's the milkweed that I tried to remove, not by the root, just by snapping the plant up. And you can see it's grown back. So if you leave any of the root, it is possible the plant will grow back. So I need to get these dug up by the root and relocate them. Things are looking better, but I should warn you guys, milkweed produces a sap that can be very, very irritating to your skin, to your eyes, any mucous membrane. You do not want to get that on you. I had to go wash my hands because I did get it on my hands, and I've learned the hard way. Wash your hands if you get it on your hands, because it'll end up in your eyes and it'll hurt so bad. I think I'm going to prune up some of these daisies right in through here, just so I have a cleaner line for this alcove. So kind of like what's in front of the zinnia, into the right slightly, and then decide what to do with all that thyme. I'm going to let it just take over here as well, which could be an okay idea, because I also have these cucamelon vines, or it is possible it could be creeping cucumber. It's possible I have received the wrong seeds about 4 or 5 years ago when I planted my cucamelons, because ever since I planted cucamelons, and that's what I ordered, but I have been inundated with either cucamelon or creeping cucumber. Very similar. They both want to take over here. The problem with these cucamelon vines is they will wrap around a plant and pull it down. They had this guy pulled all the way back towards the ground. Was able to free it last night. It doesn't look happy about being freed, so not sure why. I thought it would be happy to get untangled. It appears to still be an okay plant. Yeah, so maybe give it a few days, see how it does. I am going to fertilize these guys. You can tell they're looking hungry. They need some nitrogen, just a little bit. And when those cucamelon fruits mature, oh shoot, I dropped it. They turn black. And if you eat them at this stage, they can give you GI distress. But the seeds are mature. This falls to the ground, or something eats it, poops the seeds out, then we'll have a whole new generation next year of vines to deal with in the garden. Unfortunately for me, this also is perennial in zone 7 and above from the root. So if I don't get all of the root, it will come back next year. So we don't even have to worry about the seeds. We also have to worry about the root. got the peppers supported up in place, which is good in case we get some high winds in the next several days. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut back my phlox. It's definitely done, and there's a slight potential maybe I could get a second flush for the fall. Not sure. I did find a baby though. Right there is a baby garden phlox, so that's good news. This cantaloupe is climbing over here with the peppers, and I think I'm going to let it, because I would really like to get some cantaloupe, because critters, I think it was deer, came through and tore through my vines, tore off my fruits. I didn't think I was going to get any cantaloupe at all, and then I noticed some of these vines were still alive, so I'm going to let them just go and grow and see what I can get. Okay, I was able to get most. Just left the seed heads down there. Maybe we'll get some more babies starting up next year. But what I think I'm going to do is look at this zinnia. See how it develops roots all along its stem, just kind of like a tomato. The snapdragon will do that as well. So I'm going to reposition them so that there's a lot of contact with the soil, and we will get some more offshoots like this guy that's getting ready to break off. Yeah, he broke off. That's okay. We can replant him in some soil, and he probably will grow roots. I have better luck with zinnias in soil than water for rooting. So now I know who was living in this little hole. It is a leopard toad. Right there, you can see him. He is a really pretty, striking color. I guess I disturbed him too much. So I just cleaned up this pot, which did have sage in it. 99% sure it's dead, but the roots still seem so tough and fixed in place. I'm just going to leave it. We got some sweet alyssum. There are baby sweet alyssums coming up. There's a seedling right there. That's pretty much a miracle for this sweet alyssum to be going all summer long like that. Because it doesn't like it super hot, and it has been super hot. So because that sage may be dead, just so happens, I have one that I never planted from 2 months ago. I'm going to put him in this pot, and I think it'll be perfect right there. Maybe offer a little pest protection. One other thing I'm going to do, both of these pots are slanting downward, so I'm going to put some rocks under there and kind of support them and get them level, so that when I water, the water's not just pulling forward and draining out. Y'all, I thought I was on a roll. I've got some soil on these vines. Well, they're not vines. The stem of the zinnia, the stem of the snapdragon, so we can get more flowers, more upright growth, shoots. I got these guys fertilized, some soil on top. These guys took care of this pepper plant, moved the cantaloupe vine so it'll come out this way. Hopefully we'll have a fruit right there, and I'll put something over top of it to protect it. And then I'm cleaning up over here my cantaloupe, seeing what I can salvage. And I look up. Now remember, I'm right down in here working. There's hundreds and hundreds of these oak worm caterpillars everywhere. Now hopefully they just eat these pin oak leaves. I mean, they're everywhere. They're just so grotesque. I have a thing about caterpillars. I know. I like some of them, but some of them creep me out. I'm hopeful they only eat the leaves of this oak tree and they don't come down here to my peppers. At first I thought they were tent caterpillars, but I don't think they are. I think they actually are the oak worm caterpillars. I'll put some pictures because it's hard for me to zoom in on them. So now I gotta go check my hair, make sure I don't have a caterpillar in my hair. This pot is taken care of. These beautiful chocolate beauty peppers. I did harvest a few. I think I'm gonna make stuffed peppers tonight. Not sure about this mountain mint. I think I'm either gonna cut it down and let it flush back out with new growth, or I might do both. I'm gonna relocate it right here, kind of like where there's a gap, because you know, the deer like to sneak on in through here, and that'll be another barrier. Now, this arborvitae should eventually fill in much more, but it's kind of a slow grower, honestly. It hasn't grown much this past year. Yeah, I think I'll do that because I found another pot, this one, and I'll put it in the spot. And I think I'll maybe move my spearmint that's not doing well in a more shady spot to that location, and that will also help with the deer. Here is the peppermint. I may have said spearmint. It's actually peppermint. Wasn't I right? It's not happy. So we're going to put it over here in this pot and put it right in that empty spot, and it should be happier, much happier. Probably just cut all this and just plant some of the roots, and it'll just take off on its own pretty freely. Just pull one of these little pieces that look dead, and you will see you've got an active root system underneath the soil. Probably that whole pot is actually full of roots. It's probably root bound by now. Oh my goodness, see, look at that. Got to get a walkway again. This is ridiculous. Look at these pretty peppers. Got some cuttings. Still have to get that daisy Fleabane planted. I think I made the choice to go ahead and just toss this. Very sharp. My daughter ran over it once, and I don't think it's worth trying to salvage. But I will keep this one and take out all the weeds and plant something else. I don't know. I may try to salvage that one, but I doubt it. Need to get these guys relocated. Spirea. I've got some lemon balm. Not sure where to put it because that is also very, very invasive here. But all of the peppers got fed, weeded. The hydrangeas got fed, weeded. Look at how much better. I still need to put some soil on top, some mulch. Pull back a lot of the thyme. All the crabgrass is gone from this area. I think it looks much, much better. So that's going to be part one to this little section, getting rehabbed. I still need to go buy another arborvitae. I still need to relocate and work on the back side of these trees, these sky pencils and arborvitaes. There are some weeds back there. I'm sure my neighbors don't really like looking at my weeds. Yeah, so that's going to conclude this video. Glad you were here. I got a lot of work done. I feel so much better about this space. I am uncertain about the time. We'll talk about that in part two. Because, okay, so 1, 2, 3 peppers that were overwintered in my garage. This one has minimal exposure to thyme. These two, they are surrounded by thyme. They've not grown well. The thyme sucks the life out of everything around it. So I will no longer be companion planting in the ground, in containers, thyme. It's just a big problem for me. Even the snapdragons are not growing well because of all this thyme. I did also relocate this stone crop. Have not cut back my bee balm yet. Need to do that as well. I did give it a little bit of fertilizer. I may not even keep it in the container. I'm uncertain at this point. All right, well, see you on the next video.